Good evening, everyone. Hello, and welcome to Willingness Wednesday. I am your coach, Bevon Squires, and today we are sponsored by Spirit Source Connection. Thank you so much for being here. I am just so excited. I've been looking forward to being here this week. Has so much information to cover, so we're going to kind of jump on in. But before we do, I want to say if you are new, welcome, welcome, welcome. You are welcome here. This is a safe place. And if you are returning, I want to say thank you, thank you, thank you. You know, I could not do this without your love and support. Thank you so much for allowing me to be your coach. I am truly honored. Okay, so as you all know, or may not know. If you're new, you don't know this, but you'll catch on. We're in the middle of a series, and this series that we're talking about is from Deepak Chopra, MD, which is a spirituality guru, and talks about. He's written all sorts of books. You know, he's a speaker, just all things spirituality, and I just really love the way that he explains how we as multi-dimensional spiritual beings interact with the universe. And it's just such a wonderful thing. And I'm just so excited about this, about learning more about this through the series. I'm learning just like you are. Some of the stuff is being reiterated and some of the stuff is just being introduced. And I'm just really so excited about it. The more we know, the better we can do. You know what I'm saying? And so I can truly say over the years, I've learned new things and it has stopped me from behaving in old ways. And so we're never too old to learn. There's always room for improvement. Even the coach needs a coach, you know, and so everyone has room for improvement. And there's nothing wrong with saying, hey, I want to improve in this area or that area. I want to have a more meaningful life. And how can I do that? We don't always know these things. These things don't always come intuitively to us, but there are some of us that it does come intuitively to. And I'm so happy to be one of those people because now I can share this information with you. And you can call me whenever you need me, and I'm always here for you. And before we go any further, I'll tell you, you can reach me at 317-721-4315, or you can email me at b.vonsquires@gmail.com. Okay? All right. So I think we're ready to jump on in here now. So tonight, for anyone who wants to know what this is about and who it's for anyone who wants to know more about your spiritual process. It's for anyone who wants to know more about karma, and how that affects your life. This message is for you, basically. Yes, it's for you. And so I used to think that karma was negative consequences that would come against me, you know, if you did something wrong, you know. What goes around comes around. Ooh, what you sow, you're going to reap. And they're always had such a negative connotation on karma. Well, I'm here tonight to give karma a better name so that we can see that karma is just the flow of energy in and out. It's about the actions we take and the consequences that go with those actions. And so the going out and the coming back both together make up the karma, not just the coming back, because the coming back depends on what went out. And so the system itself is called karma. Okay, there you go. It's the actions and the consequences, not just the actions. Okay, all right. So as we move on forward, I'm going to tell you if you want to learn more about the what, the why, and the how of karma, just keep watching because I'm going to tell you all about that, okay? All right. So karma, like I said, is both the action and the consequence of the action. It is the cause and effect simultaneously because every action generates the force of energy that returns its like kind. Now, I want to help you with this. This was so huge, right? Keep in mind that the force of energy that is returned. It is the force of energy that is returned, okay, in like kind. Not the action, not the gesture, but the energy. It's the energy that is returned in like kind. So whatever energy you're putting out is the energy that's going to come back. That's what it's all about. It's all about energy. It's not about what you can feel, touch, see, and all those kinds of things. It's about the energy that is behind the action. It's the energy that you're putting out there that's actually going to come back. So I want to help you understand that it's not going to come back the way that you think it's supposed to. It's the energy that's coming back. Okay? All right. Now that we got that together, we're going to continue to move on. Now, there's nothing unfair about the law of karma. Everyone has heard of the expression. Okay, so you get what you're going to reap what you have sown. But karma can also be used to bring affluence and wealth into your life. Oh my goodness, yes. And the reason I say that is because it's because of the decisions that you make. See, we all have choices. Believe it or not, we are making choices every second of the day. There's a choice that we're making. We operate from making choices like a flow sheet. Yes, no. Yes, no. And there's always conditions and questions to answer, and like the flow chart, one leads to the next. You know what I mean? That's exactly how it is. When you make that choice and you follow it up with that action, then you are in the process, right? You are in the karmic process. Now, what I want to help you to understand is the best way to make use of the karmic law is to become consciously aware of the choices we are making in every moment. Because sometimes we make choices and we're unconsciously aware of the choice, but still we made the choice. And so I don't want you to think that just because you were unconsciously making choices that they don't count. Baby, yes, they count. Yes, they do. And it was while I was doing this study, this research this week, I was able to sit back and think to myself, now, how many choices have I made in my past that came back as consequences? And I'm like, how did this happen? How did I get here? But then when I took the moment to trace my steps, to trace my choices, to trace those consequences back, I saw that they generated from me. They generated from me. And so even today, as I was reviewing this to talk to you about it this evening, I was saying to myself, wow, how many times have I found myself in situations and circumstances and not known how I got there, and then only to find out it only had me to blame. So if I knew then what I know now, my life would be a whole lot different. But I want to say, I don't regret anything that I've been through. I don't regret any of the lessons that I have learned from the universe, because I have learned from those lessons. I have learned from those experiences. So I can't really call them mistakes, because they actually turned out to help me to produce a wonderful life. See, if I look back 20 years ago, about 20 years ago, I can see when then I decided to become more consciously aware of my decisions. I became more aware of the choices that I was making, and that's why I'm living the life I'm living today. So I want to help you to understand the choices you make today provide or create the life you live tomorrow. Does that make sense? So if you want the type of life that you want to live, then you need to start making choices that lead you towards that end now, so that you can reach that eventually, right? Okay, so the fact that everything is happening in this moment, it is a result of the choices that we have made in our past. That's what Deepak said, and I believe him because I was able to trace mine back. Okay, and so unfortunately, a lot of us make choices unconsciously, and therefore we don't think we're making those choices, and yet we are. We create the life we have, whether we do it consciously or unconsciously. Wow, Deepak, that was powerful. That just popped me upside the head. That was so powerful. Okay, so if you look at your life, honestly, you'll be able to see how the decisions that you have made created the life you're living right now. Whether good or bad, it was created by you. Now, listen to this. This is how unconsciously we make choices. Okay, listen. This is a little exercise. So if I were to insult you right now, you would make the choice to be offended. And if I were to pay you a compliment right now, You would make the choice of being pleased or flattered, but they're both choices, right? So, by the same instinct, I could say something to offend you, and then you could decide and make a different choice. You could choose not to be offended. You could choose to mosey on about your business and not be offended by anything I said. And by the same token, I could compliment you right now, and you could make the same choice not to be flattered or not to be pleased by it and continue to move on. See, so what I want to help you to understand is that we have choices. We have the power of choice. No one can make our choices for us. We make them. We just don't always consciously know when we're making them. Okay? So now if we're simply making choices unconsciously, you can step back for a moment, right, and bring those choices into your consciousness. See, we don't want to make decisions unconsciously because we can't trace where we're going. But if we are making decisions with our conscious mind, then we are being intentional about what we're doing. We are being intentional about where we are trying to go. We are being intentional about those consequences or blessings that we want to enter into our lives. And the way we do that is through our choices. Okay. So we consciously make the choices that we want, not unconsciously. Okay. So, when you make a choice, any choice at all, I want you to ask yourself a couple of things. Okay. I want you to ask yourself, first of all, are the consequences of this choice that I'm making, right, going to be good or bad? Secondly, will this choice that I'm making bring happiness to me and those around me? Well, I tell you what, and this is so true. If you ask yourself this question, you are going to feel a sense within yourself. Either this sense is going to give you a sense of comfort, which means, yes, make that choice. It's going to benefit you and those who are connected to you, right? Everyone involved. Or if when you get ready to make that choice and you ask yourself, is this choice going to benefit me and everyone involved? And you get that discomfort inside, then you know, do not make that choice. Now, from my experience, I understand that the choices I make today, if I ask myself, does this choice only benefit me? Well, if this choice only benefits me, you can best believe that it's not the choice that the universe would have me have. If this choice only benefits my good, well, then it is a selfish, self-centered choice, and it's going to have some negative consequences. But if I make a choice that is going to benefit me and everyone else involved, then I know I am in God's will. Then I know that I'm making a choice that is going to benefit everyone in a good way, okay, in a positive manner. Everyone's going to benefit from this. So go ahead and make that choice, right? And so what happens is when you begin to ask yourself these questions, when you begin to engage your mind, your spirit, your body, when you begin to engage these components in your decision making, then you're going to become aware of the senses that you're feeling as you're asking these questions. And what begins to happen is it becomes intuitive. It becomes the thing to do. See, you're writing the program that your mind and your body and your spirit is going to follow. You're writing that program by conditioning, right? By conditioning ourselves to ask, hey, is this decision going to benefit everyone or just me? Then we're setting up a precedence in our life. We're setting up a precedence in our systems where our mind will automatically, our spirit will automatically, our body will automatically respond to us when we are thinking of making bad decisions. Now, it's up to us to pay attention or not. If we're not consciously aware of where we are and what we're doing, we're going to miss those cues. We're going to miss those senses, and we're going to keep making poor decisions, and we're going to keep getting that karma that comes back in the way of negative consequences. And who wants that, right? So we're going to pay attention to ourselves. We're going to ask ourselves the question, Is this a good decision? Now, most often, some people feel it in their solar plexus. This is where some people feel that sense of comfort or discomfort. Other people feel it in their heart. And so, if you would just take a moment, I'm telling you, if you would just take a moment tonight or anytime, because we're always making decisions. So, just take a moment the next time you decide you're going to make a decision, or next time you're faced with a choice, ask yourself, is this the right choice? Or is this not the right choice? And I tell you, your body is going to alert you to the right choice to make. And then it's going to give you so much power. You're going to feel so empowered by that that you're going to want to do it again. And for me, it's a way of life at this point. I don't make this. If a decision is only going to benefit me, it's not the right one. And see, there's only one right decision. Now, there are plausible choices that you can make that may not bring you any dire consequences, but there's one solution that's going to fit everyone that's involved. And guess what? Only God really knows what that solution is. And so I'm always incorporating God into my planning, into my decision making, and making my choices. I always seek God first, because sometimes I don't have the power to see whether this is the right choice for me. And sometimes, because I want what I want, and I want it so bad, that I will deny what I feel in my senses. But when I pray and I bring God into the planning, there's no way that my mind can hijack my decision making, because my spirit is connected to God, and He is only going to allow me to do those things that are good for me, because I've given Him permission, to say, hey, God, you know what? Don't let me make any bad decisions. You have my permission to stop me from making poor decisions. And so I give God that ability to help me with my decision making. Okay, so we already talked about the comfort and the discomfort. Let's see. Now, most people think that the heart is mushy and sentimental. This is what Deepak says. But on the contrary, right? The heart is intuitive. It is holistic. It is contextual. It is relational. It doesn't have a win-lose orientation, which is right there, a win-win, right? And it taps into the cosmic computer, and it takes everything into account, not just what's good for me, but what's good for everyone else as well. So that's what I really love about learning all of this, because who knew that the heart was capable of so much? Who knew that I could depend on my heart in my decision making? Most people make their decisions from the mind, and that's it. How can it benefit me? Woo-wee, that is not a good karmic situation, I'm trying to tell you here. Okay, so our life is a continuum of choices, and some are made consciously, others are made unconsciously. So we already know that, but we are all responsible for the choices that we make and the consequences that go along with them. Okay, and so now, if you want to use the law of karma to create money, affluence, and the flow of all good things to your life, the first thing you're going to have to do is become consciously aware that your future is generated by the choices you're making in every moment of your life. Okay, as we continue to move on, I want you to know that the law of karma says no debt in the universe will ever go unpaid. There is a perfect accounting system in the universe, and everything is a constant to and fro flow of energy, right? And so if you want to deal with your karmic debts, I don't know if you guys karmic debts are. Okay, so these are infractions that made in the past that we never made right. Okay, and so in order to make those debts complete, to pay those debts off, if you will, in an accounting thought process, there are certain things you're going to have to do. Okay, so one of these things that you can do is you can transmute or transform your karma. This is a very interesting process, it says. Okay, and so what you do is you ask yourself, as you're paying your karmic debt, how can I make this experience good for others? How can I give back in this situation? As I'm making this debt right, as I'm paying this account in full, how can I do it in a way that others are benefiting from it, right? And this allows me to transmute and transform my karma. And doing for this and looking at it this way gives me the opportunity to replant that seed, right? And then bring back some good karma. Wow. How amazing is that? How amazing is that? I can take the karmic debt, and in paying it off, I can pay it off in a way that brings a seed that I can plant for more good karma to come back. Just by asking the question, how can anyone else benefit from me paying this debt? Wow, this is so important and it is so powerful. Now, I know we're running out of time and I don't want to keep it too long. So I want to say now, another way to deal with karma is to transcend it. And transcend means to wash it off, to become completely independent of it. And the way to transcend the karma is to keep going to the gap and washing it like a piece of glass in a stream of water. And I was like, well, that's really interesting, God. I don't understand that. I don't understand. What is the gap? What is that all about? And so God reminded me that in the first law, we talked about the law of potentiality. And then the field of potentiality is that gap between our thoughts. And that's what keeps us connected to that field of potentiality, to our essence, to the intrinsic part of who we are. And the more time I spend there, the more opportunity I have to wash away the guilt. I can wash away the shame. I can, when I go to that gap and I make that connection to my intrinsic self, the essence of who I am, and I connect to my God, the creator, the source in that place, right? It is such a sweet, beautiful place because that is where the work is done. That is where I connect to my higher source. That is a sacred place, the gap, the place in between my thoughts, the place that I can only access through meditation, the place where my higher power is already waiting there for me to help me work through these situations and circumstances in my life, to help me let go of all that karma wreckage and garbage and all that karmic buildup from my life, and making all those decisions and not paying my debt in full. You know what I'm saying? And so now I can go to this gap, and each time I go, a layer is sloughed off or exfoliated. You know what I mean? A layer is just falling off, and each time I go there, I'm cleansed, I'm purified, I'm made whole. Wow, that is so amazing to know that this is available to me, that all we have to do is just go to the gap, go to that place and meet God there so that we can transcend this karmic debt and this karmic wreckage and baggage, if you will. Okay. Now, let's see what else I want to tell you. Oh, okay. So now we're going to talk about how we can apply this law of karma to our lives. Okay. Now, I can be aware of the choices that I make each moment. I will bring them to my conscious awareness, right? I will know that the best way to prepare for any moment in the future is to be consciously aware of my choices today. All right, number 2. Whenever I make a choice, I will ask myself 2 questions. What are those questions, Coach? Those 2 questions: what are the consequences of this choice? What are the consequences of this choice that I'm making? And will this choice bring fulfillment and happiness to me and everyone else that is connected to me, anyone else that is involved, right? And now the third way to apply the law of karma to our life is by asking my heart for guidance, and to be guided by its message of comfort or discomfort. Those senses that we feel, those navigational pulls, if you will, our compass, our inner compass, if you will speak to us in the form of senses to let us know if we are on the right track or if we are on the wrong track. You know what I'm saying? It will help you understand whether the decisions that you're making is good karma or is it not good karma. Okay. And so, let's see. The other thing I want to let you know now, if the choice feels uncomfortable, right? If the choice feels uncomfortable, I want you to pause and take a moment. Take a moment for yourself, because that moment that you take to reconsider your choices can mean the difference between consequences in your future and blessings in your future. You are worth that pause. You are worth that moment of consideration. So stop, look at that situation, and try to understand why you got that discomforting sense within you. What is it that your body is trying to tell you? What message is the universe trying to send? What is it that God is trying to tell you? And I tell you what, if you will pay attention to those things, and you will understand that God is real, number one, and that these consequences, and that your body can actually speak to you without using words, if you can be in tune to it. I learned how to be in tune with my body years ago, and I'm so grateful that I did. I'm so grateful that I did. As a woman, of course, we had to be in tune with our bodies, but of course, this is not just for women, it's for men and women. We can become in tune with our bodies. We can become in tune with the senses that we have, because God created us. We are multidimensional spiritual beings, and our bodies have sensors that will speak to us and tell us what is going on. We just have to take the time to find out and spend some time with ourselves and spend some time with our Creator, so we can know all the things that our wonderful bodies and our wonderful minds and spirits can really do. But if we don't spend that time, we're not going to know. But I tell you what, if you want to call me, we can talk all about it. If you have any questions, or you're concerned and not really understanding all of this, please call me so that I can help you. I want you to get this. I want you to understand how your life can be better, and how you understand that only you can make it better. No one can give you a life. You have to create it for yourself. But you can create an abundant, wonderful life, and I can help you do it. If you would just call me at 317-721-4315, for 317-721-4315, or you can email me at b.vonsquires@gmail.com, and we can talk all about this so I can help you understand it. Okay, because what good is this information if you don't understand it? If you won't be able to benefit from it if you don't understand. And so here I am at your disposal to help you. And I tell you what, that's going to wrap it up for us this week. But I am so excited to bring you this information, and I look forward to seeing you again next week. But in the meantime, I'm going to ask God to bless you real good. And I tell you what, if you're doing your affirmations, and if you are manifesting all those wonderful things in your life, I'm telling you what, they are on the way. All of the things that you're manifesting are on their way. All those good seeds that you have sown, they're going to bring a wonderful harvest. And I'm so excited for you. But anyway, guys, I love you, love you, love you so much. And thank you again for meeting me here tonight. And I will see you next week right here on Willingness Wednesday at 7:15 p.m. Bye-bye now.